If you are thinking about using Bluehost, do not do it. And it's coming from someone who was their actual customer. And I know what you are thinking right now. Well, a lot of major publications online are really recommending them, so there must be some truth to it. Well, no, they're doing it just for the money. And I will prove it in this video, because I've collected all the data for my own research you can see in here. And Bluehost completely failed in this independent research. So let's take a look at a little history of Bluehost together. In past, they were actually a very good web hosting company, one of the best, but it was in a time when phone looked something like this. And around 2010, they were bought by a company called EIG, or Endurance International Group. And as you can see, they are not very liked online, because their main idea was to go and completely monopolize this market of web hosting and domain names. And partially it was successful. Currently they are owning web hosting companies like Bluehost, HostGator, or even some domain companies like domain.com, web.com, or registrar.com. Their reputation was actually so bad that they have to go and officially rebrand because of it to Newfold Digital. But don't worry, the all negative reviews are still the same. This is still not a very good company. But why would so many publications then recommend them? Okay, it doesn't make any sense, right? Well, it is not technically that true. And what's usually happening is that us creators or people who are writing those reviews are putting affiliate links inside that content. And if you as a customer will go and purchase through that content, the creator will get some small portion of that price as a profit for them. So in those cases, it makes a lot of sense to promote something that will go and pay you the most amount of money. And as I've proven in this video, longer video, Bluehost is paying completely most out of all web hosting companies. Now, I cannot legally go and disclose the exact figure how much they are paying, but what I can do is go and show you the proportion, and you can clearly see why Bluehost is so popular online. But there's nothing wrong about paying for this if the performance matches the price. And is it actually good service? Well, based on performance, it is absolutely not. They fail in two most important metrics when it comes to web hosting. It is uptime and page speed. Uptime basically means for how long is your website accessible online. Now, it should be on 100% all the time, right? If you are Googling for it, it should appear 100%. If you want to go and put it inside search bar directly, it should appear 100%. But it's not happening all the time. And there can be some delays, some server problems that's going to go and keep this number down. Usually, the metric we want to go and stay close to is 99.97%. I personally wouldn't recommend going under it. But as you can see, Bluehost perform absolutely worse in this metric, meaning your website you're going to create with Bluehost is going to be down the most out of all web hosting companies that I have tested. And also in page speed, it's very simple. It basically means how long does it take for your website to load. And as you can see, Bluehost once again underperform in these metrics. Usually we want to go and see it under 400 milliseconds, but as you can see, Bluehost haven't come even close to this. They haven't been under 500 milliseconds even single time. And what I actually like to do, and I would recommend you to do also, is look at month by month trajectory. Because in some cases, for example, like Hostinger, if you look at overall average, it doesn't look that bad, but you can see the rising trajectory over the time. So definitely keep this in mind. And if you look at Bluehost in this sense, we can see that they have been this slow for a very long time. So we can go and confidently say that they're gonna go and remain this slow as well. But what is the worst is that there are way cheaper web hosting companies. They are way faster and have way better uptime. In terms of support, Bluehost is notoriously unprofessional. This is one of the key things the Newfold Digital, the company, is doing. They will go and acquire some web hosting service and they will go and start cutting corners everywhere. And support is one of the easiest one to go and cut. They will go and give you not very knowledgeable people to do it. They're outsourcing it to completely different countries. And the worst part is that one support agent has to not only deal with one company, but they have plethora of other companies they have to go and be helpful for. And just ask yourself, how helpful can those people be if they have to go and take care of a lot of stuff? Probably not a lot. And in my personal experience, when I have been asking them a specific question via Bluehost about Bluehost pricing, and they have basically answered me with pricing from iPage.com, which is completely different web hosting company still owned by Newfold Digital. And when I went to them and said, hey, this is clearly not what I asked for, the support basically told me, hey, it doesn't really matter. It is all the same. So this is type of support you can go and expect from them. Also, let's take a look at user friendliness. This is super important. And because I really want to go and make those reviews as real as possible, I don't want to go and only talk negatively about them. Objectively, I think Bluehost is one of the easiest to use. From the signing process to actually going and creating your website, I really do think even complete beginners will be able to do it. It's really easy to navigate. They're using cPanel, which I personally am not the biggest fan of, but overall it was a very good experience. It can look a little outdated in some places, but we can see that Bluehost is already working on it and they are trying to uplift it design-wise, which is also good. The little negative I would say is sometimes it seems to be a little laggy, and one time it actually froze on me, but overall the user friendliness I don't think is that big of a problem, and it is really even more user-friendly than a lot other even cheaper or even more expensive web hosting providers. We can clearly see that Bluehost is trying to target the complete beginners in here. In terms of features, you will not get anything extra from them. You are getting complete basic, like free SSL certificate, free CDN, or even stuff like Yoast SEO plugin, which is also owned by this company Newfold Digital. But this is nothing special. You can go and get the majority of those stuff even completely for free. So I wouldn't go and recommend Bluehost because of their amazing features you will receive. Quite the opposite. If you want to have something that has real value for your website, you will need to go and pay extra for it, even for stuff that other web hosting companies have already included into the main price. So after this, your final price can look way higher. But now let's not only look at my reviews, let's take a look at what other people think about Bluehost. What are their experiences? Now, I don't want to go and highlight one negative comment because every company can have one negative comment. Let's look at it as overall metric. And here we can clearly see that 1 out of 4 customers will go and give Bluehost the worst review possible. This is a clear sign that there is some problem with Bluehost service that needs to be addressed. Usually some things that people highlighted in those reviews were unprofessional support team, which I definitely agree with them, a long time to load, which we have seen on our page speed that it was definitely over the industry standard, the recommended standard, and also a lot of downtimes, which also I definitely believe based on the uptime data we have seen. But just to be clear, this is not some web hosting thing that every single company will have a lot of negative reviews in the web hosting space. It's not that true. We can see also their competitors. They have thousands and thousands of reviews, but the proportion from positive to negative is completely different. So we can see this is definitely Bluehost's fault. And if you have 1 out of 4 customers giving you the worst review possible, there's some big problems in your service. So now, based on this, you will think that a Bluehost will try to go and compete with the price, right? They will go and offer you some very cheap plans. But this is completely not the case. We can see it on this graph inside here. Now be careful, because every single web hosting company will try to lure you in with very discounted first year prices. But I've actually started digging up data and calculating it, how much would it cost you to go and renew with them. And you can see Bluehost is very expensive in this case, and it is definitely not worth the price. You will need to go and pay extra for stuff like domain name, whois privacy, and all other stuff. And when we look at the competition, it's definitely not worth it. But who will make a lot of money are creators who will go and recommend it to people that Bluehost is the best service and you definitely have to go with it. Please do not believe them. It is not the truth. So what is my final conclusion? We have looked at the data together, and I think we can all agree that Bluehost is not the best choice basically for everyone. I think they're overpriced, their support is not very good, and objectively their performance like uptime and page speed is also very underwhelming. So I don't really see that many upsides in using them. Obviously, if you are a person who recommends them and can make money from it, then you have a lot of upside. But in terms of performance, there is nothing you should go and consider. It is very underwhelming, but if you want to go and see some real recommendations based on data, you want to go and check this video inside here. You will definitely regret not checking it as a whole, because this can save you not only a lot of time, but also a lot of money. If you like this honest type of video, definitely consider subscribing. This is everything. Have a nice day and goodbye.